never mind, I'm retarded. There's the Great Purge, right. So, obviously there's going to be the Great Purge events. You can pause and read them if you want. You now have the ability to build 1 tank factory per state. Okay. Green Army Command. Yep, less than 2,000 pieces of HQ equipment available. Activates a national spirit, effective army organization and planning. So that's decent. I like that. Because obviously communications and planning and army stuff were obviously very important in the time of World War II. And it is a thing that is worth adding in a game. Now it looks like also the supply output, the supply throughput into certain regions is lower, which is great. It's actually really, really important that that is actually correct. Now, I'm really hoping that the AI is not going to interfere with what I'm actually doing, because if it sends those divisions that I'm sending over there back, that's going to be very annoying. Now, there's actually a paratrooper division over here, so I'm going to deassign them. Well, it's actually a paratrooper brigade, and I'm going to send them to the, obviously, airfield. Oh, right, the Air Force. Oh boy, I forgot that. Preparation for Winter Olympics in Germany, Bavaria. Okay. Oh boy, I wish there was a way to actually send everyone to reserve easily, but it's probably not going to be. Now, Air Force. Where's the actual Air Force tab? Okay. So it looks like a lot of our airfields are very heavily developed. Remilitarization of the Rhineland, that's obviously going to happen. They're actually fairly well organized from the start, which is very much appreciated. I'm going to reduce every fighter squadron to 100. Every fighter wing, rather. Trial of the anti-Soviet Trotsky Center. Okay, so despite Leon Trotsky forced into exile, blah 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 blah. So we're essentially trying some, making show trials for some elements within the political leadership that aren't exactly loyal to us, or at least that we don't think are loyal to us. So we can do either. Kalyanin's wife is suspected. He cannot be trusted either. Okay, so Kalyanin is the head of state of the Soviet Union. At this moment in time, of course, he's a bit of a Stalin puppet, and we would not get the advisor Mikhail Kalinin, which gives national unity. Now, national unity, depending on how strong Germany is, might come in handy later, so we're not going to have that. Khrushchev dabbled in Trotskyism in the past. He must go. He is basically useless, grants communism support, but we don't really need communism support because we've already got 70%, something like that. So we could probably have that. Or we can reduce political party because of Radek's confection points to several people within the party. I'm not sure who Radek is. I would have to brush up on my Soviet politics, but he's probably someone in the party because obviously points to several people within the party. Oh right, Radek was actually an official that was arrested early on in the Purge. Okay. Party members can be trusted. This paranoia must cease. Obviously, because of the need to be sort of balanced between the options, this is going to lead to a civil war, despite the fact that historically there was no plot. So I'm going to remove Khrushchev because I don't like him. He can throw his shoes in death. Okay. He can throw it in Lubyanka prison. Okay. So while I'm actually reorganizing the Air Force, the Purge does provide a bit of a nice distraction. That's a bit ridiculous, but still. So we have some I-16 units over here. Dance show. To entertain our foreign guests and show off German culture, we will have a show with dancing girls. German womanhood will be on display. What is that event? I'm not sure. Then, okay. Crimea, that's fine. There is a R5T. Wasn't this one the cannon interceptor? Oh god. I keep forgetting. Aircraft. Ground attack role. Okay. So that's actually a close air support unit. And something is lagging. Okay. Close air support unit. Closing ceremony of the Winter Olympic Games. Okay, so I'm actually going to do something a little bit. Okay, good. This should actually improve the game performance a little bit. I closed some programs. And then, where was it that I was? Okay, right, in Air Force. Over here in Vladivostok, I can use some more close air supports. Okay, so we still probably got some air forces that are in reserve. No, actually, we don't have anything in reserve. Good, okay. So our air force is already pretty big from the start off because we're the Soviets, and the Soviets obviously have quite a bit of reserves for the air force. Okay, so the trial of the generals, that's going to be the important one. Obviously there was a pretty big purge within the army, both in terms of the heavy sort of the high command level, and in terms of also the little more colonel slash major level of the armed forces, which kind of crippled the Red Army, but then we can have different choices. Okay, so we can either execute Tukhachevsky, which is going to remove Tukhachevsky, and also Yegor, remove as the Chief of Army Yegorov, Blucher. These are all essentially officers that we can recruit as advisors. If we go to advisors over here, Chief of the Army, the Tukhachevsky option is going to remove Yegorov over here, Army Defense, and in the Army High Command is going to reduce, eliminate someone? Is it going to eliminate someone? Doesn't look like it. Finovsky, no, looks like only Chief of Army, Chief of Navy, and Chief of Air Force are going to lose people. And then Mikhail Tukhachevsky over here is going to lose Field Marshal. We're going to lose him, and that's bad because he's good. That is a pretty interesting thing. And then we're going to increase the penalty from Officers Purge, which I'm not sure if we do have yet. No, we don't have that yet, but it's going to reduce our army organization, etc. So we don't want that to happen. And we also don't want to have this happen because Rakosovsky is also a really good general over here. And some of the people that we will lose in terms of the possibilities for actual advisors would be pretty good to actually have live. So I'm going to take the Civil War in that regard, because that is the main part that you don't want to have. You don't want to have the Officers Purged event. It's going to lead into a civil war probably around here. And that's also where my reserve is going to come into play, probably. I'm going to put them under... Actually, probably Zhukov is better. So that's the Spanish Civil War. Okay, so we can actually have a bit of a trial for our army there. Okay, so let's see what units of ours are more ready for combat. Because a lot of our units are actually very low on both equipment and experience. So sending them out somewhere would be pretty good. So we have the 7th Mechanized Corps over here in the north. That seems to be a pretty decent unit. I'm not sure how many divisions we're going to be able to send to Republican Spain, actually. We're going to be able to send 5. Good. So we're going to select some 5 decent divisions and send them out to try them out. Okay. Then the Beveo Mechanized Corps, or Mechanized Group. That doesn't look to be that good of a unit. I'm mostly looking for units that are high on equipment and high on training, because I don't want to send really shitty troops over there. Special Red Banner Cavalry. Okay. It's probably going to be a very small, because it's special, yeah. But that's going to be fine, because they're not going to take that many casualties because they're better. Probably with the terrain that is in Republican Spain, the Gornostrelki, at least one of those units is going to be very useful. Then we have the Moskva Proletarskaya Divizia, the Moscow Proletarian Division. That's going to be an excellent unit to send in there because it's a very heavy motorized infantry division. Well, it's actually not that heavy, but it's going to be good anyway, especially because of its training. And Army 5. No, that doesn't have anything good. 45th Mechanized Corps. Okay. That's also a good unit. And we're at 4. We only need one more infantry division or whatever division. And we're probably going to go for the mountain division because we don't have one Gornostrelki yet. And Gornostrelki are obviously going to be very good in the terrain of Republican Spain because it's got a huge amount of mountains. We could go for the... Oh no, we can't send our aircraft, so no, we cannot go for the... Wait. Okay, no, that's fine. So we can't actually go for the paratroopers to be sent in. The 72nd Turkestan division should be fine. So we're going to find a general that's suitable for them. Konyev seems fine. We have a lot of tanks, so having the Panzer Leader trait is going to be great. He has the awesome general trait, which means 25% more attack, and offensive doctrine 10% more attack. So our already fairly high on soft attack units, such as the Mechanized Corps and the Matostrelkovaya Divizia, are going to be excellently buffed by him. So we're going to send him out to Republican Spain, and once he arrives, we're going to have a little bit of extra things to do. Good. We're going to try to make Republican Spain win the war. So obviously, we're also going to need to organize the theaters later on. This looks to be the northern theater, so we're going to have, well, rep Ethiopia. We're going to have be the... God damn it. Northern theater. Then this is the Baltic theater, along with this. Baltic. Basic machine tools, good. So now we can either research concentrated or dispersed. I'm not sure if there's any difference in Black Ice. Looks like there's more factory output for the dispersed, which is weird. There's less retention. Shouldn't that be the opposite? I don't know. It also reduces factory bomb vulnerability, but the AI does not use strategic bombing. Okay, this actually increases... This increases more the max factories in a state. So actually dispersed in Black Ice is much better. But we have the text for concentrated. I dislike that. I wonder if we have those flags already. Because we have those researched. And if we research dispersed, will that disable these ones? Or will that stack with these ones? From the looks of it, it would stack. So let's game the system. Let's game the system already. I'm not sure if it's intended to work that way. I'm not sure if all of that is supposed to be that, but I'm going to change that later on because I'm pretty sure I can actually switch back to the other type of industry if I fuck up in some way. I mean, with doctrines you can switch between different doctrines, so I'm pretty sure. Okay, so the trial of the 21. Okay, so we are at the climax of the trial, and that's going to be the main trial for the army, or the Navy and Air Force over here. And as we suspected, enemies are everywhere, just going to kill a bunch of people. Okay, so that would remove Alexander Vasilyevsky as a general. Vasilyevsky is pretty good if we can look at him. He's skill 4 with offensive doctrine, but we probably don't need him because he's a little bit inferior to some other people. And it's probably going to reduce the strength of this civil war once it's actually going to do that. But we will increase the penalty from officers purged, so we don't want to do that. Okay, good. So we have our divisions in Valencia. I'm not sure if the German AI has already sent things to nationalists, but they don't appear to have. And actually the Republicans seem to be doing decently. Okay, so there is a huge mess that's actually happening over here. And we're going to need to sort this mess out. Now, looks like this area is going to be the most important one to push in, because I want to pocket all these nationalist Spain divisions over here. And essentially my main strategy is going to be to have my my mountain infantry fight with the Republicans on the front line, whereas my other troops are going to come in from the back and essentially just conduct maneuver warfare. So I'm going to strategically deploy my armored and mechanized forces over there, and I'm going to normally move my mountain troops. Okay, so once these guys are ready, we're going to find out which areas I can move in that aren't mountains. So it looks like this province and this province, and the reason for that is because when you're moving in mountains, you have a huge amount of attrition to your mechanized forces. So we can actually do some good stuff over here. The Republican Spanish forces are over here in Zaragoza, so the fact that we are going to... Actually, maybe we should send the cavalry because of its hills. Maybe this is going to be... It says attack modifiers, but I'm not sure about the movement modifiers, so let's see which ones have the best movement in hills. Hills is this one. This has -4%. This has +16%. So they may actually be faster. No, looks like the... Yeah, looks like... Okay, so the armored and motorized are quicker anyway. So we're going to want a big division anyway to hold the place, because obviously don't want the enemy to break out. So I'm going to have the cavalry and the 45th Mechanized Corps move into the west, and the 7th Mechanized Corps along with the Proletarian Division move in to secure the cutting off of those units. Then I'm going to have the mountain infantry attack over here. Looks like it's going to be a fairly decent... Oh, well, because of the UI scale, that's actually going to be very ugly to look at, but I'm pretty sure you can see it. There's a pretty understrength brigade for the enemy. Okay, so we do have some low supplies. Actually, I'm going to want to keep one unit here. Oh no, actually, no, that's not the case. Okay, good. And then I'm going to have... Oh, looks like I can move over here and into Burgos, the capital. Whereas over here, this is mountains, so I don't want to move in there because that would make my troops get a lot of losses. And I'm hoping that they're going to lose their organization because of being surrounded. Yes, they are surrounded and out of supplies, so that's going to be fairly easy to take them out. I'm going to increase my efforts to actually attack. I'm going to take this province, which is going to cut off all these guys from their front. And it looks like they're trying to bring in the mixed mountain brigade in, but this is plains, so we can easily crush them with our armor. Yep, that's going to be very easy for our armor to destroy that unit. And then the cavalry brigade is going to move in to support and seal the encirclement a little bit more. Looks like the Republicans do have a fair few amount of mountain infantry divisions, so that's great. Now these troops over here are completely finished. Okay, so we're going to strategically redeploy them to Burgos. And that's going to allow us to have a little bit of an extra pushing power. We're going to push west with our army, because these are really good types of terrain for tank units. It's a lot of plains. In fact, these brigades and divisions that they're sending against us don't really have any chance to defeat us. So we're going to have the cavalry move into the north where there's mountains, and we don't want our infantry to be there, or rather our tanks to be there. Our mountaineers are going to clear out this area of Republican Spain from any enemy troops. I'm just going to give them orders to do that. They should clear out everything so that there's no one in our rear harassing us. And then I'm going to assign my divisions to different axes of advance, like this. So against the weak Spanish divisions, our troops are performing really well, but I have no doubt that later on we're going to face much more dangerous units from the Germans, because, well, of course. And I mean, Also, that's probably going to be the case because some division templates seem to be unlocked automatically, which is obviously going to make the AI a lot more dangerous. Is this a plains? Okay, good. So we're going to take Valladolid, and I'm going to surround these two infantry divisions for nationalist Spain. Our cavalry has managed to advance a little bit. Our mountain infantry is still going to do its thing. So these three divisions are going to crush this one pocket pretty easily. They have 26 soft attack against our 200s, etc. So it's going to be pretty easy for us to crush it. Okay, so they're gone. I'm going to have the motorized infantry go there. Actually, this is a lot of hills and mountains, so that's not exactly the ideal terrain for our tanks, but I'm going to try to take Coruña before they can reinforce it. Because usually, at the end of the Spanish Civil War, the nationalist AI manages to hold up a few divisions in La Coruña over here, and that's usually very hard to deal with them because obviously this is very harsh terrain over here, so I don't want that to happen. I'm going to bring in my armor and try to surround these divisions. It's only militia, it looks like, so it's going to be pretty easy to take them out, along with the support of our allies. Okay, so that's not going to be at all dangerous. And our units are going to be gaining some decent experience. I'm not sure if they have increased or... Okay, so it looks like they have increased the amount of experience you get from combat. You get 4.82%. Damn, that's a lot from that. And they're trying to attack us from the rear, but it's only one brigade of militia, so that's not going to be too great. They have a general that's pretty decent. Okay, so we have managed to get our armor over here, so they're not under attack anymore because obviously they're in another province. Okay, so these militia are in mountains, so I'm not going to have them be attacked because I don't want to waste my tanks on mountains. I'm going to have my own allies deal with them. They should be able to just fine. So we're also clearing out these mountain divisions over here, and we have taken La Coruña. Excellent. And so I'm going to redeploy the... Oh no, actually we haven't yet. Okay, so we're going to take it, and then we'd have the cavalry take the provinces to actually increase our, rather our allies' war progress towards actually capitulating nationalist Spain. And once our tanks are in Coruña, which they should be pretty soon, I'm going to redeploy them quickly to the south because I want them in the fight. My proletarian division has taken forever to get here because it's a mountain. But that's fine, it's going to allow us to flank these enemy divisions. And that's going to be great. Okay, so we've got the mechanized corps ready to... Yes, I said corps. Ready to move down with strategic redeployment. We're going to also move in here. This is plains, so it's going to take less time to get there. But it's still going to take quite a bit, unfortunately. We'll go in 20 hours. I like that in the UI now it says the modifiers for the terrain. I'm not sure if it was there before, but it's definitely useful. I'm actually going to move in. Oh boy, that's a mountain. Oh, those are two mountains. That's annoying. I'm going to strategically redeploy to have that not be a thing. Because when you strategically redeploy, your units don't seem to suffer the attritional penalty that you normally suffer. And then I'm going to come in and surround those enemy divisions. Okay, so we've got these guys ready to go as well, and then they're going to protect the flank of that guy from the south. So my mountain division is still taking territory. Good. And my cavalry division is also taking territory. So we're going to go and finish the encirclement. Looks like over here, since it's plains, we don't really have that much problems. The enemy cannot penetrate the armor of our one light tank battalion with the T-26s, so that's going to be fairly easy for us to come in from the back as well with our other mechanized corps. And then from the front with this one mechanized corps, we can do this. Actually, we could go and flank them around here. This is taking a little bit longer actually to defeat them. Possibly because they have counter tactics, possibly because they have a better general. No, terrible general. Okay. Maybe it's just, I don't know, that we don't have as many divisions in the fight as we had before. And we're going to try to surround this one other brigade and finish it off. I'm going to update the orders actually of these divisions, because obviously they don't have to do as much as they used to, because our allies have been doing things of their own. Okay, so we're going to get to these hills and we're going to surround and destroy this one militia brigade. It's going to be pretty easy. Competent general, that's not enough. We've got an awesome general. And the reason I didn't send Chuikov actually down here is because usually fighting in such a small environment as this is actually mountains, but we can defeat them anyway. There's a lot of them and they're very low on organization, so it's important that we actually defeat them before they can get anywhere that they can regain their organization. Again, usually you don't get as much experience fighting in these small fronts as you do fighting in bigger fronts. So even having a skill 1 general, that would not give him that much experience fighting over here. Otherwise, I would have sent Chuikov over here, because he's got that awesome general trait that means that if I can get him to a higher skill, that's going to be excellent for me. Now, looks like we can try to cut off nationalist Spain from the south. There is a militia in Sevilla, so I'm not going to attack Sevilla. I'm going to attack Cadiz, because Cadiz doesn't have the urban terrain. It's got plains terrain, so our armor is going to be in a much better shape. As you can see... Damn it. I cannot show it. Because, yeah. But essentially, I can show it from here. Our armor... Oh! Okay, plus 13% in... Herb? Are you kidding me? So apparently our armor is better in urban terrain. I'm not sure as to why. I really have no idea. So they're going to try to surround me, which is fine. I'm not going to really care about that, because Cadiz is a port city. That means that our nationalist or our Republican friends can send our supplies anyway, so it's not going to be really a problem. I'm going to send the special Red Banner cavalry down south to help, and our mountain divisions are also finished with their job, so I'm going to send them back south to here. They're going to make also a push in this way. Oh, actually we can easily stop them anyway from doing that by attacking them. And yeah, it does look like our armor does have more attack in terms of urban. Well, it says that we have a minus 36% terrain modifier, so it may have been a bug. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense. How much terrain modifier? Minus 51%. Well, I may have looked at the wrong division, actually. I'm going to finish off these guys. Ooh, that's a lot of enemy divisions. Okay. So it looks like they've... Oh, that's Japanese divisions. Okay. Yeah, Bubinshi. That's definitely a Japanese division. That's okay. I'm going to cut off all these guys by moving my mountain division for Cordoba. Hopefully they don't have anyone there. One really good thing that our allies are doing is that they are almost going for the cut-off maneuver down here, which if this one international brigade actually moves in here, that's going to be great. It doesn't look like they're doing that though. So we have the BT-7, and we have the field hospital and construction, because all these researches take the same amount of time. Good. We can't research any more armor, because obviously it's not happened yet. I'm not sure as to what to research. Flamethrowers seem to be good. Probably something in industry. Oh, actually, electronic mechanical engineering. That's going to be important, because we want the radios later. Machine tools are also going to be good, but only later on. Oh, these are actually 1936, so we want the resource gain efficiency, but we also want these things. All of these are good, so I'm going to research all of them eventually. I'm going to start with the excavation.